Season 2 of The Punisher was released on Netflix on January 18th, with all 13 episodes getting released in one go for fans to do an epic marathon. The Marvel and Netflix series proved to be just as gritty as its predecessor, with Jon Bernthal reprising his role as Frank Castle, also known as The Punisher. Here is our breakdown of The Punisher Season 2 ending and how episode 13 panned out. What happened at the end of The Punisher Season 2? Warning. This article contains major spoilers from The Punisher Season 2 Pilgrim. There were two parallel storylines running through Season 2 of The Punisher, one involving John Pilgrim, played by Josh Stewart, and the other focusing on Billy Russo, Ben Barnes, the latter of whom we'll get to later. Season 2 ended with Frank Castle, Jon Bernthal, helping John after learning that the evil Anderson Schultz, Corbin Burnson, and his wife Eliza, Annette O'Toole, were the ones pulling all the strings. Frank confronted the Schultz family and Annette after she tried to stab Amy Bendix, Gigi Wyam, when the team turned up in their mansion unexpectedly. He then told Anderson that John was a decent man, who knew between right and wrong and did not deserve to be held to account by them. The Punisher Season 3 Netflix release date. Hero gave Anderson an ultimatum, a bullet and a gun, letting him to choose whether to himself or live and face the consequences of his actions. Anderson chose the first option rather than face up to all the people he'd hired John to murder in a bid to protect his senator son David's, Todd Allen Crane, ality. There was an assumption that David would go public with his ality and supposedly shaming his parents' so-called legacy with the truth. David, after all, had been left horrified when he learnt the truth of his parents' extreme actions from Frank. John was seen putting his sons into a car and driving away from the Schultz mansion as the religiously devout man gave up being an assassin to raise his children. How to watch The Punisher online. Russo, Jigsaw. The Russo storyline was the second one running through Season 2 and culminated in the villain getting shot dead by Frank. Russo's death seemed a little too swift after Frank put some bullets in him as he tried to apologize for his misdeeds. The villain was already in a bad way after Agent Dinah Madani, Amber Rose Reaver, shot him 3 times in the penultimate episode of Season 2 after she pushed his girlfriend Krista Dumont, Floriana Lima, out of a window. He was even seen trying to save himself by forcing a medic to remove his bullets without using anesthetic, but that ended badly and Russo made his way to his old army friend Curtis Hoyle's, Jason R. Moore, so he wouldn't alone. Curtis called Frank and left the rest up to him, only arriving to find Russo's lifeless corpse and come up with a story about the death. Although Russo may have died, his psychiatrist girlfriend Krista survived and was seen in the hospital. Could she make a return in Season 3 to exact revenge on Frank? The Punisher Season 2 cast. Frank saved Amy from John and the wrath of the Schultz family, leaving her now safe and free from hitmen. Amy asked Frank if they wanted to live together, so she could look after him, but he refused. Instead, he sent her off to Florida with a wad of cash to live with one of his friends and train as a diver in the Sunshine State. Frank accepted his dark nature and embraced his title as the Punisher, seemingly happy to be the vigilante do-gooder keeping the people of New York safe. He turned down Madani's offer to join the CIA, which she had joined since the demise of Russo. But could the pair team up again in the future? As the show came to an end, Frank was seen gunning down two rival gangs before they could inflict terror on innocent people. The Punisher Season 2 is available to watch on Netflix now.